Mike Bohn here with PFL President of Fighter Operations, Ray Sefo. And Ray, we're on the verge of the 2023 championships. You just were in the middle of all the face-offs. Right. Tell me, was there a moment up there on the stage that you're thinking about the most that was your biggest takeaway, a stare down, a moment that you enjoyed the most from the ceremonial weigh-ins?
I think the main event, OAM versus Clay Collard. I think that fight, Clay is he's a playful kind of guy. But when that bell rings, he means business. Mm-hmm. So I think that fight's going to be great. It just depends on who's going to be able to implement their game, the most throughout that fight. Because I know both guys can go the distance. Mm-hmm. Both of their gas tanks are are up there. So I don't see that fight slowing down any time throughout the fight. So, interesting. That being said, the heavyweight, the co-main, also is an interesting one because they're both powerhouses. These guys can bang. Obviously, on Dennis' side, he's a little bit more, how do you put this? His ground game is a lot stronger in the way that we've seen in the past, but Hannon, obviously, I think that the biggest thing for him is being able to defend a takedown, and then if he does get taken down, is scramble and get back to his feet. So I think that's his biggest challenge. But outside of that, I think the fight, as long as it's standing, it could be anybody's.
Yeah, and we see a couple instances on this card. Olivier, Larissa, Kayla went through it, trying to become a two-time champion. Right. Can you try to put in context how difficult that accomplishment actually is, going through consecutive seasons to do it? I mean, Kayla admitted that trying to do it 3 times, her gas tank was on empty, I think was her exact quote. So you see multiple fighters, Larissa trying to do it in 2 divisions. How difficult is this?
It is difficult, especially because, throughout the season. And listen, that's what separates discipline, determination in terms of the season, because from the get-go, they know when they're fighting, how many fights they're fighting, and of course then it's up to them. If they win, they move on. If they lose, obviously they're going home. Mm-hmm. So the season is something that everybody loves. Every fighter I've spoken to enjoys being part of the season. That being said, they also enjoy the fact that they understand it's not easy to go through the season back to back to back. Yeah. But that's what makes them special. And again, we see at the end the fighters that men and women that last to right to the end is the ones that are most disciplined in not only their diet, their training, their rehab, because all these things matter. And so, to get to the finals of the championship of the PFL season, it is very tough. And then you got to do it, back to back as champion. But Larissa has a great opportunity to become the first two-time two-division champion, which I think that's what she's looking forward to. And then to hear her call out first-round finish is pretty interesting.
Yeah, she's an intimidating force. And you mentioned discipline. A 2-time champion himself, Ray Cooper, he missed weight, moving up a weight class for this fight with Derek Brunson. What's kind of your read on that? I mean, were you surprised by that? Did you get the chance to talk to him at all? Where do you kind of feel his mindset's at right now?
I didn't get to talk to Ray after the wins, but Ray is a guy you don't sleep on. Mm-hmm. Obviously I was surprised that he missed weight, because that's the weight class that they said he was going to be at, is at 185. That being said, Ray is going to be swinging bombs until that fight ends. You know what I mean? So, sure, he missed weight, but that being said, he's still going to be very dangerous in there. Derek, on the other hand, he's been there with some of the best athletes in the world, and so as well as Ray, and so that fight is also interesting and exciting.
Yeah. And speaking of fighters who missed weight, Chris Wade, which led to the fight with Bubba Jenkins being called off. Right. What's your thoughts on that going forward? Like, do you guys maybe look into rebooking that again, maybe at lightweight? Do you think it's just time to move on and have these guys go their separate ways? What's your kind of thoughts on those two guys now that the fight's not happening tomorrow?
To be honest, the way it played out, it's disappointing because they both knew that they had to be here at they both had to make 145. And, obviously Bubba was the original alternate for the championship night. He made weight. Chris didn't make weight. And, his explanation was that he wasn't he was the second alternate, right? So if him making weight, not making weight wouldn't be an issue. But obviously it was because that's the way that you guys agreed upon, and you guys agreed to fight each other at that weight. And so I wish it was told to me 4 weeks ago that he was feeling like that wasn't going to happen. Right. You know what I mean? And so right now, to be quite honest, I think it's time for both of them to go their separate ways. I'm just completely pissed off about it because you can't do that at a championship night. And then secondly, we flew you guys out here. There's a reason why you guys are out here is because you guys are fighting. Yeah. And, it was absolutely ridiculous. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Does Chris still have a place here next year, like in the organization, or you just feel like in terms of fights?
Right now, I got to talk to the team and go from there. But, I'm just upset about it.
Yeah, fair enough. And in many ways, tomorrow night is the end of an era for PFL because it starts a new one going into 2024. This Bellator acquisition, something you've been asked about ad nauseum, and you couldn't really speak fully about it because it wasn't all out there. Right. Now it is. Tell us, I guess, your true thoughts, your more in-depth thoughts. How big of a game changer is this for PFL? How can we expect the product to be different? And what are you personally most excited for? Whether it's a fighter you can bring in, a fight you can make, all the above.
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting. Obviously, it just it puts us at another stage of being a global powerhouse in MMA, having the Bellator brand as alongside the PFL brand. And obviously, also next year, we will start a new kind of era in terms of, not era, but rebranding, reimagining Bellator as the Bellator Champion Series. So most of those fight cards, I believe all of them, after sitting down with the team, we would have a championship fight in every single one of those cards. So moving forward with that. And then, of course, we're going to have guys that's going to bounce back and forth between PFL and Bellator. And the rest, obviously, the team's got to sit down and chat about it as the announcement was made this Monday gone, and we're here for the championship. And then next week I'm away somewhere else, and so the team will eventually sit down and kind of iron out a few things here and there. But we're super excited about just having another massive roster in Bellator fighters be part of the PFL family. So it's exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah. And well, congratulations on all the success. Obviously, tomorrow is going to be a fantastic night. Going to hand out 6 $1 million checks, crown 6 new champions. It's all been building towards this. So tune in, ESPN plus pay-per-view. Sefo, appreciate the time, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.